make sure your clients understand what the boundaries of the work are and call them out as soon as they cross them. My name is Bruce Rule. I'm a writer and editor by trade, and I've been doing freelance for about 5 years. I just recently published a book called Heartfelt Goodbye, How to Write and Deliver the Eulogy Your Loved One Deserves. And each week I put out a short video on some tips about how to handle being successful as a freelancer. And this week I had an interesting interaction with a new client. Technically not a new client, but a new contact at an old client. The contact I had been dealing with has left, so I've got a new contact there. And I've been going back and forth on whether or not I really even want to keep them. Last week, he and I had a discussion about what he wanted me to do going forward. And he wants more work from me. Which, you know, if you're a freelancer, a lot of times that's a good thing. It's not for me, though, because I'm trying to cut back on the kind of work that I do for this client. But he wanted me to do more work. And we talked about, you know, some of the things I'd be willing to do in addition to what I've been doing. Perhaps instead of posting things twice a week for them, I might do 3 or 4 times a week if there's a lot going on, for instance. He asked me if I would be willing to edit a quarterly newsletter. And I said, yeah, you know, if it's just a compilation of things that we're putting out anyway, that's not much extra, but I really don't want to take on a lot of extra work. And he said, well, what about writing research papers, white papers for us, because we want to become better known in the industry. And I told him, no, I don't really want to do that, because that's a lot of time and research, because I don't actually know in depth their industry. And I said, plus there's a lot of kind of legal stuff in the field that they work in. And I said, I don't feel comfortable. It would be too much work, and I don't want to take on the work. But we went back and forth on it a little bit. And I said, well, if somebody in your company writes a research paper or a white paper, I would edit it. I'll make it read better. But I'm not writing any papers for you. He said, all right. Go for it. That's fine. Earlier this week, I get an email from not my contact, but somebody below in the chain of command who is more of just an administrative assistant. Bruce, I understand you're doing a research paper for us. That's going to be for October. Please send me an outline of what you're writing so we know what you're going to focus on. What? Oh. So what I did is I immediately responded. Normally I take a little time to think about these things, but I said, no, it's better to nip this in the bud right away. So I messaged right away, and I CC'd my contact. And I said, there seems to be a misunderstanding here. I am not writing research papers or white papers for you. And I have been pretty clear about that. I said, if somebody in your company writes it, I would be more than willing to edit it, make it a little better, whatever. But I am not interested in writing any papers. If there's some confusion over it, let's have a conference call and we'll discuss it. Literally 5 minutes later, my contact calls, because he happened to be in the office where the administrative assistant was and saw my email response. It was just a misunderstanding. I wasn't clear to the administrative assistant. I wasn't trying to say you were going to write the research paper. Don't get me wrong. But what I was hoping is, since you know the topic of the research paper that we want to do, that you might be able to give us some ideas on sort of what needs to be in there, or structure, or anything that you can help us with, so that when I go to somebody in the company to have them write the research paper, they have some roadmap a little bit for the paper. Could you do that? Yeah, right. So I messaged back and I said, yeah, I'll give you some ideas on how to put together the paper. And I sent an outline. Now, I haven't heard back from them since I sent the outline because my contact went on vacation right after this interaction. And I get the suspicion that what he was hoping was that I would go, well, he's on vacation. I can't get a hold of him. I guess I better go ahead and do the paper for them. That's what my suspicion is. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's why you got to clip these things right away. If they start pushing you for other things that you don't want to do, you got to call them on it and make it clear right away. No, I'm not doing that. That's all there is to it. And you see, part of that is the beauty of being a freelancer. Now, if you need the money, I understand. Don't get me wrong. But it's not my job. I do a few things for them every week, but you know what? I can live without them. So if that had been a big issue, I would have just left. So you got a little more power in a way when you're a freelancer, especially if you've got enough clients that you don't need the money desperately. But even if you do need the money, don't let your clients take advantage of you. If you've got boundaries and you've explained those boundaries to them, and they start pushing those boundaries and crossing them, call them on it right away. I mean, what do you think? I'd be curious. Do you have any issues with boundaries as far as what the clients want? And if so, how do you handle it? Is there a better way to handle it than I just suggested? Let me know. Comment down below. And please like and share this video because I do think it's helpful for other freelancers. And please subscribe. I really would appreciate that very much. Till next week, take care.